Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 6th of July 2023. First of all, tiny little bit of housekeeping. From time to time I look at my figures on the YouTube analytics and I see what the subscribers are and where they're at and the views and everything. And sometimes things go flying up. Obviously the brakes are taken off the shadow banning or whatever you want to call it, and then other times the brakes are put on and I think the shadow banning happens big time, and I do suspect that they actually unsubscribe people as well who are subscribed to channels. So you might think you are subscribed to me when in actual fact you're not, because YouTube have taken you off the subscription list. So it might be an idea just to check that, because things seem to be just kind of going up and down and sideways in a very crazy, suspicious fashion at the moment. So it might be an idea just to check that out. Having said that, what I'm going to say next isn't going to do me any favours. It's probably going to bring on even more of this malarkey from this platform, because yesterday I met up with a few of the people I know from Stand in the Park. Some of them work in this allotments, and they've got food growing there, and it's all really, really great to see. And I just went up there to meet them and have a chat, and this one lady was saying how the place she works at made her go on one of these very woke kind of courses. Now, the company, I think she said the company she works for is, I won't say the name, but suffice to say, if crafts are your hobby, you probably go to this place. You can probably guess the company. And she was saying how recently they made her go on this course where they're coming out with all of this woke stuff, saying how you can't even say he and she anymore, is basically what she was saying they were teaching. And how crazy is that? It kind of reminds me of a few years ago when they said you can't say waiter and waitress anymore, you've got to say server or whatever, and you can't say air stewardess and air steward anymore, you've got to say cabin crew. It's that kind of thing. And do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Stalinist Russia and Maoist China. You know, the era when they all had to wear those horrible looking boiler suits. All of the men, all of the women, didn't matter what age you were. And the whole point behind that was basically to de-sex everybody. The last thing a communist totalitarian state wants is for you to be looking at and being distracted by and attracted by the opposite sex, because they want your full attention on your work and your full attention on being a good little citizen for the state. They want the state to be your partner, not a man or a woman. So that is part of the reason why they all wore those boiler suits back in those days. And to me, all of this kind of thing we're seeing now is like a verbal equivalent of that, a verbal de-sexing and also a verbal dehumanisation of people as well. So when I see stuff like this, it leaves no doubt in my mind that you are seeing communism, pure communism at work. That is what it is. And I don't think anyone needs to be ashamed of not being woke, because we've all been told, if you're not woke, you're not a proper citizen and you should be ashamed of yourself. But far from being ashamed of yourself, if you're not woke, you should be proud of yourself, because it basically means you're not a communist, you're not a Marxist. Woke and Marxism and communism are all one and the same, and I don't think anyone needs to be in any doubt about that. So if you go against woke, you are on the right side of history, I think. And things like this, anything you like, what I've just been talking about, if you see that, all of this sort of desexualisation of people, sort of having to call people they rather than him or her and he and she, that is a sign of communism at work, believe you me. And, you needn't feel ashamed of going against that, I don't think. So, moving on, we are getting pushback against this kind of thing. And another thing we're getting pushback against is the 15-minute cities. You've probably seen this video. I think half of the freedom movement have probably seen it. It's absolutely everywhere, but just in case you haven't, I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. But the gist of it is Glastonbury Council are going to be rejecting 15-minute cities. They're the council who have been kind of given a few home truths by this lady called Sandy Adams, who I was actually privileged to see speak at an Uprise and Shine event, the first one I went to nearly 2 years ago now. She was at that one speaking, and she's been going on about all of this kind of thing for 15 years, so way before I became awake and way before many people became awake. And she's known all about this Agenda 2030 and all of the rest of it for all of that time, and been speaking out against it all of that time. But it appears that her efforts are paying off. She's actually in this council meeting giving the Glastonbury councillors a lot of home truths, red pilling them big time. And this is happening, and she's getting results because, as I say, it looks like Glastonbury Council are going to be rejecting the 15-minute cities, and they join a growing list of councils now who are also rejecting such plans. I think you've got Thetford, who are another, their council are going against it now, and I believe the likes of Edinburgh, Brighton, and a few of the London sort of councils as well are all either rejecting it completely or at the very least drastically scaling back on their plans. So it looks like all of this pushback against the 15-minute cities really is starting to bear fruit, and it's a fantastic thing to see. So it's all about people power, isn't it? Just ordinary people getting into these councils and telling these councillors, exactly what's going on. And I think we all need to be doing it a lot more up and down the country. And, if you've been thinking of doing it, I'd highly encourage you to, do it. Get a few people together, go into your next council meeting and start sort of asking them about their 15-minute city plans and telling them why you think it's such a bad idea. So it's this people power which is going to get us results, I think. So I'm just going to finish this by telling you I'm going to be having a few days off. I've got other things planned, and frankly I just need a bit of a break as well. Been feeling a bit burnt out recently, and I will be sort of knocking around with the odd video here and there, but I'm also going to have a few days off. It's only going to be a few days, and in the meantime I will be putting out a video each day, but they'll just be I've still got a few interviews I did at the Better Way conference in Bath there a month ago, I did loads and loads of interviews, and I still had a few of them to sort out. So I'll probably be giving you a few of those, one a day perhaps, over the next few days, and then I might just pop up if I've got anything to say in the middle of my little sort of bit of time off as well. That may happen or it may not happen, but no doubt I'll be on at least once or twice over the next few days, but I will be having a few days off as well. But like I say, there's a few more of these Better Way conference interviews to come, probably much to the displeasure of a few viewers who think I shouldn't have had anything to do with that thing. But hey, what's that phrase? You can't please all of the people all of the time. I'm just going to do what I think is the right thing to do with this channel. It is, after all, my channel, and I think I need to go and report on things, no matter who thinks it's a good idea or not a good idea. And that's my job to do that. It's not my job to please everybody, to please you. It's my job to go and investigate things and come back with my findings. Because after all, if my job or what I wanted to do with this channel is please people, I wouldn't be talking about this kind of thing, would I, that this channel talks about for the last 3 years. I would have been saying, "Ooh, aren't the NHS wonderful? Ooh, isn't the Big V wonderful? Oh, aren't the lockdowns absolutely fantastic?" And then this channel would have absolutely been massive by now, I should think, and I would have been extremely popular. But because I'm not in it to please people, I'm in it to just say things how I see them, and sort of report on things that I think I need to report on. That's going to happen, and that's going to continue. So that is the way that one is, I'm afraid. And with that, I'll be back at some point in the next few days. So until then, Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.